Okay, I'm going to show you a few of the things you need to know quickly to just get started when you develop your web page as part of the website and the portfolio, which is your home page for this website. This is using Weebly. If you have another tool that you'd like to use, Wix is fine, either Weebly or Wix, and they all have the same features and functions just in different places. So this should give you a good idea of how to do that. I have already laid out what I want to do. I've made a plan. I've done some work in Word and on PowerPoint to see how it looks. I've got a topic in mind for my web page. I've got focus, which is informational. I've created my logos and a graphic that I want to use. I've read all of the instructions. I understand what I need to do. And so I'm in Weebly now to create those pages. And the theme that I've chosen to use is a fairly simple one, just a black background, and so I'm going to choose this. It'll take a moment to come up and load. Bit of a slow internet connection. Now when you do this, you'll do add site and it'll come up, or if you're starting for the first time when you log in, you'll see the choices for the themes. And these are all editable. You can all change some of them. Now some of the templates are fixed. You can't change everything. So if you have a design in mind, you got to make sure that the theme matches that. And while it's loading, I'll point out that when you click the build, you'll get a bunch of tools over here. You're going to create your domain. And in my case, I'm going to create I've already used, as you can see, I've already done one of these, so I'm going to use the same one, but I'm going to make it Spring 17 or Spring 16 just because I can't use it again. But you can use that. And the domain is going to be how your web URL will come out. As we do in this course, I've used last name, first initial, the course, and the semester so that it's easy for me to remember, easy for people to find. In your case, it'll be fall of 16. So now it has a URL, a domain, and as I said, I've clicked build and you have all of these things here. And one of the first things I'm going to do is take a look at what we have here. You can section things off, divide them, add spacers, so whenever you have things sort of set, you can adjust. You can add documents, videos, files, even Flash, which is kind of going by the wayside, but you can still have that. And all sort of other things if you want to put them in there. There's lots of tools for you to explore. You can embed raw code if you want to, if you know how to. You don't have to. We'll take a look at that at some point in the class, but it's not necessary for you to do this. If you add a title, it has got a particular style, and I'm not really interested right now in doing that. I'd like to have some ability to do things on my own. So I'm going to add a text box, and you just drag it over, and you can click here to edit. And that's what I'm going to add there. And you can play with that font, make it any way you want. This is becoming my home page, and this is your portfolio page. Now if you click on pages, you'll see that they give you a bunch of pages you don't need, and you can click here to delete, or you can rename. In this case, I'm going to change the page name. Wait, it's loading up for me here, taking a little bit. And I'm going to call this my website project. So I have a link to that, and I can go back. And that's really the only link that I need to have. If I want to have others, I can. And I'm going to remove this one. Now, if you notice, the website project has a few things on it that I don't really want. So I can actually add a new one. I can delete this one. I can edit it, whatever, but I can add a page, and it's going to be a standard page, and I will call it, as soon as it catches up to me here. and this has a header on it, so it's going to be the same, and it's going to look the same as we go through. So now I have the 2 pages that I need to have. Now my home page requires a couple of things. It requires a logo, and I'm going to wait until I get my stuff together, but um, for the portfolio. But I want a footer. One of the things I need is a footer, and there's none really here. But this little piece actually works for me. So you can actually move this and go on this page, move it down, and you can move it down until it gets to the bottom. And so I'm going to use this area as my footer. And I'm going to go back to build and bring in a text box here and put on the things that a footer needs to have, which is copyright, last updated, and contact. Now I can also put in a contact form. Just drag it over here, and you'll notice that there's a contact form. So if anybody wanted to contact me, I have that in the footers too. You don't have to do that, but there's something that you can do. And there are all kinds of, you can put buttons in and name the buttons. You can put in a assignment form. You can do all sorts of things. There are galleries and slideshows for your photos. You don't have to put the PowerPoint in. In fact, you should do your individual photos. You can put them in as a gallery, put them in as a slideshow. So you have some things to look at to do that. But I want to get back up here, and I want to put in to show you that you can change the theme. If you need to change the fonts or the theme options, you can do some of that there. You can work on the theme, but you really should get your theme pretty well set. I want to go back here to the build, and I want to take a look. We have these 2 here, so we know we're good. And you can view it in desktop, and you can view it in mobile. Now, the title shows at the top of your pages, so you're going to want to put in a title. I don't, I'm just making one up. You can do whatever you like there. And that is updated. If you want a password, you can. You don't have to have one. There are other things you can do here. And you see this is going to carry through. Now if I go to the website project, I can do the same thing on here. Change that. I'm sorry, this is the place where you put in your logo. There you go. So if I want to put in a logo here, I can drag or upload from my computer. Now this is where you're going to put in the logo that you created. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to look for my LB logo and put it there. And it's uploading. And now I have that logo. And I'm going to go back to my home page, and you'll see that it's still there. I just hover over it and it's on, off, text, or edit, or trash. But what happens when I go to any of these pages, I'm going to go back to my website project, click on the logo, and it'll take me to my home page. So you need to have that logo. Now on my website project page, this is where I've already laid this out. I've already determined what I want to put in here and how it's going to look. It's an informational page. It's going to be about Lady Dragon Slayers. So I'm going to remove this text box here, and I'm going to pull in a photo, an image, and I'm going to upload that image, which is the the one with the dragon that I created before. That should upload momentarily. There we go. And I can resize it. I can edit it, crop it, do whatever I need to do there. There's my bar to make it smaller. There we go. And you notice it's a little bit darker than the background, but that's okay. I like the way that looked. I really originally had a black one, but I didn't. Now I'm also going to have an external link, and this is an informational page about the Tail of the Dragon motorcycle rides and the rides around the area, events, that sort of thing. So my link would be to this site, the Tail of the Dragon at Deals Gap, and I will do that. You can put in a button for that. And change that. And the link I'm going to put in there is a website URL, and I will just pick up this URL here. Say open a new window, and we're done. So those are some of the elements that you need to have. You'll notice that it doesn't have a footer as the other pages do. So I'm going to put in a spacer or a divider here. This is a divider. I'm going to put in a divider down here. And I'm going to make this part down the bottom my footer, and I can keep adding sections here. So my footer is the same things that we need to do as the others, and that is I'm going to bring in a text box here. And I'm going to say this should look the same as the other. And I kind of like the idea of having that form in this page more than on the other page, so I'm going to do the contact form here. All right. Now, between this link and all of this, I need to have information about this ride and other things. This is just a very quick ability to show you this, but you're going to have to add information in here about what this page is about, the information it provides. For instance, in mine, I would have community organizations, events that we're holding, that kind of thing. It's informational about the Lady Dragon Slayers motorcycle group for women who ride. That's the informational page that is part of the one part of your assignment, which is 15 points for the website that has a purpose and has a design and is different from your home page, which is your portfolio page. Now I can use graphics here as well, and what I'm going to do is I liked that rose that I used up there, and I'd like to use that again, so I'm going to pull in an image up here, and I'm going to upload that, and it's just the rose that I had before, which is in downloads. Because I happen to like that image as a indicator of who I am and what I do. And that should be uploaded shortly. And you can move that around, add segments to it, add sections to it, but you don't need to do this portfolio page until, and that should be coming up soon, there you go, and I can make that smaller. Until you're ready to create the portfolio. For right now, you're focusing the first part on doing um, your website, and then after that, you'll focus on doing the home portfolio page. And I think that should get you started, and you should know from then on how to move forward to get all of this done for your final project.